Let's actually pick up on that story with Apple and bring back John and Dion. John, I actually want to start with you. Do you think it's fair for Apple to even suggest that? Because then they would be getting special treatment. Wouldn't other companies want the same, to be exempted?
Well, yeah, and that's exactly what's happening in this whole tariff process. Is the government opens up when it is discussing imposing new tariffs. It opens itself up for comment from companies around the economy on whether they should be exempted, and it's been inundated with thousands and thousands of these exemption requests. So, to a certain extent, Apple is doing what everybody else is doing. And, I think the bottom line here is that it's very hard to create a level playing field when you change the playing field with tariffs. Who do you exempt and who do you not exempt? You could say that if Apple says in its letter that it's being put at an unfair disadvantage against foreign suppliers with these tariffs, but at the same time, if they get exempted, are they being given an unfair advantage over, say, Google Android, which is a major supplier to Samsung phones? It's very hard to pick winners and losers here, and that's what happens when you change the playing field the way tariffs are doing it.
Yeah, exactly. And Dion, do you see any red flags for Apple in China? If you're talking about local competitors, you're talking about retail sales that's slowly starting to decelerate in terms of growth. Are you concerned about that market for Apple as a whole?
You sound like you've been reading the Axios Markets newsletter. I actually wrote a big story about this week, so make sure you sign up if you haven't. Oh, but look, Apple is having all kinds of problems.
Nice plug. We respect that. We respect
that. You set me up. I got to knock them down.
I'm getting ready to. How am I going to plug the journal?
You set me up. I got to knock them down.
Yeah, we'll sign up for the newsletter. So tell me, what's in the newsletter?
Yeah, well, what's in the newsletter? We talk about Apple and some concern right now from a lot of investors, a lot of analysts, folks that worry that this Apple really needs a new act and they don't have one coming. iPhone sales are down about 30%, shipments down about 30%. Apple iPhone, the iOS shipments are down about 25% from the previous quarter. They're getting killed in China. They're really just not popular. And these tariffs right now are just going to add to the story. You're seeing the shipment to the U.S., where Apple is the #1 company, drop by the most across the globe. So Apple in a world of hurt right now, and these tariffs really just add to it. I do have to say, though, as you're looking at this request, it reminds me a lot of my niece who asked my uncle for a pony. You can ask for whatever you want. It doesn't really, that's not really what's going to get you there.
Okay. Thanks, guys, and thanks for the plugs, too. I'm sure our audience heard, and maybe
sign up for the Axios Markets newsletter.